Hi, everyone, and welcome to the show. I'm so happy to be here with you all and Val.
Yay, Aley back!
I'm happy to be here. Thank you, Val. We just had a little bit of a chat backstage, and it was just wonderful to catch up and learn some things that Val's been finding out as well. And before I turn this all over to her, I just want to thank everybody for all of your love and prayer around my journey, which really, really, really was wonderful for both of us. And but we did miss you all, honestly.
Yeah, we missed you. We missed you so much. Oh my gosh, it left a gaping hole in our community.
Oh, that's right. Oh, you're so sweet. You're very sweet. I just do also want to shout out that Nicole Linda G's daughter is asking for prayer for her. Something about white blood cell count, I believe it was. So we do this for all our community, and so I just want to make sure that I put that out there.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah. So the way we do this is that every other week we are on one or another's channel. The person that's doing the Akashic Records reading is the channel that we are on for that week. So in 2 weeks, we'll be on Val's channel where I'll be asking her questions and she'll be doing the channeling from the Akashic Records Masters. So, So with no further ado, I'm going to let Val run the show today.
Yay. And Aley, do you want me to go ahead and say the prayer of
Please.
protection?
Yeah, we could. Yeah,
okay, so we'll do that now, everyone. So go ahead and take 3 deep breaths in. That really anchors you in. So a deep breath in through your nose. Imagine light filling your heart, and exhale through your mouth slowly, and imagine light filling your whole entire body. And another deep breath in, imagine light filling your heart. And at the top of the breath, hold it a moment. And as you exhale through your mouth, imagine light filling your whole entire body and the room you are in. And one last deep breath in, imagine light filling your heart. And at the top of the breath, exhale now slowly. Imagine light filling the whole entire earth, the universe, the multiverse. We are surrounded by the pure white light of divine source. We ask Archangel Michael to protect and guide us as we call forth all of our angels, guides, beings of light, and Akashic record masters to assist us now to receive information of the highest truth, highest frequency of light and love, allowing us to receive exactly what we need for our greatest good and the greatest good of humanity. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. So, Aley, thank you for accessing the records. And our first question is, what is the true origin of humanity, and how many seedings of humanity have taken place on Earth?
Infinite number. It is so infinite, and so I'm getting the 8, the unification symbol, the infinity symbol. There have been some times of seeding from the stars, of course, and there have been times of destruction that have driven many under the ground, as a reminder of the power of those who inhabit this earth, and the importance of living in love and gratitude and not mocking the source is what I get, because the God source is considered to be one energy, divine cause. The God source has without malice, made the decision to change up certain things in order for us to grow and learn through mistakes, although there are no mistakes, the Akashic Records masters say. So the amount is too much to count. They say in your number system, you would need a lot of fingers. But the seeding of the other planets to this planet was difficult for many because they were concerned about the density. And so you will note that there was some seeding done in Mars, and then there was some cataclysmic events that came along that made it impossible for many infinite times, although it's very possible, of course, there will be other seedings of that planet as well. But it's a reminder to be extremely gentle and kind, because the earth is a divine entity. It is a living, breathing representation. And basically, they're just saying, remember that, because things can change in a heartbeat.
Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you. That's profound. Thank you so much, Akashic Record Masters. And who were the first civilizations, and how did they connect with star lineages such as Sirius, Lyra, and the Pleiades?
Some of the stars that you have mentioned have been involved in wars that have created the need for them to go off their own planets and move into other planets. There were many Nephilim, and I believe that their size is what has rendered much speculation. But they were one of the first, and currently your excavations on the earth have provided amazing results that they lived here, and their heads were enormous, so they have found a lot of bones from this group. They aren't necessarily the first. They're making me aware that the animals wish to be known as the first inhabitants of the earth, and that we have lived as animals before in the past, and how important that connection is to who we are and why we are. But seedlings have also come in, of course, from other planets. And there is currently, currently we're seeing another seeding happening on the planet. And some who are astute enough have recognized that seeding going on, even though those who are not aware that such things could happen could have it right in front of them and they cannot even see it. So there is much behind the scenes. There is much that is happening even now and today, some of them being hybrid earthlings as well. But remember, earthlings are hybrid to begin with.
Right. Thank you so much, Akashic Record Masters. That is true. So Akashic Record Masters, what was the original divine blueprint of humanity before distortions were introduced?
They're saying the great experiment. Earth was to be a great experiment, and is still a great experiment. Some are saying that the life we live on Earth is the dream, and the dreams we have are the reality. The divine blueprint was to unify ourselves around the idea that we are all equal, the same. There have been some integrations and some nefarious happenings that have created a rift in this divine blueprint. However, as we are stronger than let's say, the Dracos and the reptilians, even though we may not feel that strong, that we are currently working through releasing the negative energies. And this is why in planetary alignment, so many things are also happening on the earth plane that need to be eradicated and revealed before we can live in perfect divine blueprint.
Oh, thank you. That makes sense. Thank you, Akasha Record Masters. And how does Lemuria and Atlantis fit into the greater cosmic story of humanity?
There is a reason why whales and dolphins have so much intelligence, and that is because a watery planet was very big and very important in those two lifetimes, and the crystalline energy as well. There was a lot of, shall we use your earth word, ego involved in these two beautiful communities that actually detonated a sort of first kind of atomic bomb in a way. The energies came together and created this cosmic disturbance that basically was responsible for the eradication of that particular energy at the time, and also the movement of the waters over those areas. It did, however, exist in a time much longer than we think that it existed. We're finding out a lot more and seeking out more that's under the water that we are able to determine. And many, many of us have come back from those times as a sort of a penance in order to not screw this up over again.
Oh, that makes sense. That makes sense. And thank you for sharing that, Akashic Record Masters. Were there other civilizations before Lemuria and Atlantis that are now forgotten?
Yes. Those were infinitely long ago, and the Egyptian area is a later, because it's closer to our time than Atlantis and Lemuria was. The Egyptian lifetime was meant to bring in a lot more of the so-called gods, which were merely aliens from other planets, to sort of seed and bring in divine high knowledge. And there is actually a lot more that will be uncovered with regard to this that has a tie to an earlier civilization, perhaps in the same area or off planet, that moved into this area that also saw a demise. Most civilizations that we know in the modern world last approximately 250 to 300 years before they go through some kind of a demise or destruction. These lasted many, many years. And this is the hope that we can bring that energy back in order to make waves and keep the knowledge that we have and remember it in a faster way when we incarnate, so we're not tripping over ourselves all through our own lifetimes, trying to find out why we are here, what our purpose was, when we already divinely know what it is. This is a reminder for us.
Oh, thank you. That makes sense. That was wonderful. Akashic Record Masters, what technologies or wisdom did humanity once have that were lost or hidden now?
Man was much more in touch with his psychic abilities. He did not have to use his voice, and this is why it's interesting to note that the petroglyphs and the hieroglyphs that are seen in caves. They wanted to write these things down. Once they started to write things down, even though they're pictorial in many ways, this took us out of the mind that we were in and took us more into the 3D world that we were living. What this did was disconnected us from that intuitive sense, because it used to be you didn't have to say anything. And actually, we can go back to that, and some of us have, where we have that connection, that divine connection, where we just know the answer to something. We have that with animals. We know exactly what the heart says when we connect with some that are in our midst. And this is even the wild animals. There is a modern day story about a beautiful chimpanzee, actually a bigger, Akashic Records Masters, was it a baboon? A baboon, who learned sign language and was probably one of the biggest advocates of the ability to communicate through more intuition, but having that ability to tell humans who are so connected to words exactly what they felt. It was an amazing connection. And there's many more that can do that.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. That was Coco. Thank you for that, Akashic Record Masters. How were sound, frequency, and light used in healing and building?
I'm seeing levitation. I'm seeing the levitation of building. It's a construct whereby a group of people can bring their energy all to one purpose. And this was used in part in the construction of the Egyptian pyramids that weighs so much that it's impossible. It's almost impossible to lift them. And so it is the collective. There is a remote viewing style of movement with light and energy that can be done. We can all do it. We've all had that feeling where we are hit by something and we are enlightened. And so that we have to think of it in not only verbiage as light, but the words embedded in others, like enlightened. We are all enlightened. We have the energy and we have the sound energy. The sound energy, as far as health goes, look to one of your old science fiction TV shows where Doc and Bones was able to do things with light and sound energy. And that was channeled for the writers. There's so much truth in all of these older TV shows that it is profound.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Thank you so much. We do have a question from the chat that's interesting, although I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but Tutas Speaks is asking, was Tataria a place here on Earth like Atlantis? Beautiful architecture and frequency healing? Question.
Tataria. Oh, that really resonates with this entity, Akashic Records Masters. Yes. Ooh. I believe that this particular, yes, it was a particular beautiful place here on Earth that was brought here from a planet that holds a lot of crystalline buildings, and I'm seeing a pink sky and pink water. So I'm not getting Akashic Records Masters. Can you give me where this is? They're telling me that dawn doesn't break on your marble head. So I'm not remembering the name of it, and they're laughing at me. But anyway, I believe there is a beautiful crystalline planet that's pink, and I'm seeing beautiful, shiny light off of these crystal buildings. Not exactly sure where this was located. Can you tell me? They say you may find some of this eventually under what we call Antarctica, but I do believe that's also another place that was utilized for one of these communities.
Oh,
So, yeah.
Interesting. Thank you. Oh, that's fascinating. And I was getting the chills on that. So I love that. Okay. So, how did sacred sites such as the pyramids, Stonehenge, and Machu Picchu actually function in their original time?
Oh, wow. I'm seeing floating above Stonehenge. I'm seeing these huge rocks, and they're like spinning, and I'm feeling as though it was almost like an orchestrated whirling dervish type of energy. And this is why the Sufis whirl. They get into this idea of ecstasy, and they do this by dancing in a whirling way. And they're saying clockwise, these stones would rotate, and the energies that would come up from the earth. I'm feeling as though there are crystals deeply embedded underneath those areas, and probably in the Egyptian pyramid as well. They're saying that the energy these places carry has not been harnessed completely. Although many people feel their energy when they go there, they have to be more tapped in, such as those who go to Sedona and go to the different vortexes. If you are not tapped into the idea that that energy exists, it's a lot harder for the layman to feel that energy. But once tapped into it, it's electrifying, and it's all encompassing. It whirls around the body, and it could lift us if we believe we could be lifted. That's what I'm getting from.
And I love that spiral concept, because everything I have ever seen about the way energy works, it's always in that spiral. So
Yes.
Thank you, Akashic Record Masters. That was beautiful.
Yeah.
What knowledge was preserved in mystery schools, and how much has been distorted over time?
They're saying, look in the basement of the Vatican.
Oh,
there's a lot in there. And I don't know when that will be unleashed or released, or there's a lot that was removed, much like there was a lot removed out of what Christians call their Bible. And what they're reminding us of is that many esoteric text and mysterious or mystery school information was written thousands of years after it was received. It would be like, they're saying, it would be like you people here on the earth writing a firsthand experience of the Civil War. You did not live there. You did not know what happened in the Civil War. You weren't a participant, or maybe you were, but you can't know it from a firsthand current knowledge. You would have to go deep in there. So the same thing with the mystery schools, the same thing with other sacred text. There's a fear. The planet thrives, and so do some of the darker entities. They thrive on keeping people in fear in order to control them, because that's the only way they can be controlled. This mystery schools idea is the same, and what they took out, they feared would destroy. Christians took out the fact that we have the ability to have more than one life, because if you think you have more than one chance, you're going to screw it all up and do awful things, because they don't trust us. There's no trust involved. And when I say they, what I mean is those that seek to subjugate knowledge, especially knowledge that would assist us in moving forward and making bigger strides in our spiritual world.
Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. There's a lot of talk in the chat about the information that a lot of writers come up with, like Lee Roddenberry with Star Trek, and H.G. Wells with all the information that he came through with, and so many other writers. So that seems like it's science fiction, but it ends up being. So
Yeah,
where do they get this information, Akashic Masters?
Everything written is channeled. There is no original idea. We like to think I wrote this book, or I wrote this song, or yeah, you wrote it down. But please, please know that you are always divinely guided. The same with art, the same with the ability to get into the flow state in sports. You can only go so far, but you are channeled. They can see your effort and they can help you through this. H.G. Wells, absolutely. Nostradamus. We still have his quatrains. We're still listening to what he had to say. Where did he get the information from? It didn't come from the local bookstore. It didn't come from himself. He allowed that information to come through him. And of course it was channeled, but everything is channeled. Everything is channeled. And we just, once we accept that, we understand that it's much the same as the psychic. When you come and ask for reading to a reader, we come into your energy field and we feel what's in your energy field. And that's where we get our information from. And where's that coming from? From your thoughts. We're channeling your thoughts and we're seeing what the energy is around them. And that's why some days a reading could take this turn and another day it could take this turn. We are not. We're the conduit. We just listen and tell what we hear.
Channel through the information.
Yep,
Thank you. Thank you, Akashic Record Masters. That's beautiful. What are the missing chapters of Earth's story that are most important to reclaim now?
Records Masters, what are our missing chapters? Oh, okay. They're showing me a set of dominoes, and they are stacked upright, and they're showing me the cosmic hand pushing on the first domino and the response as it goes down. They're saying what is hidden is the inability for us to accept that we have the power to know it all, to know what's going on. And that until we understand that, and many of us think we couldn't know that, we're not that important, we're just a dot in this huge, huge universe. That is not true. All of this is available to every one of us, but we have to believe in that. And once we get a paradigm of people that will believe in the collective and how the collective works together, just like it did lifting the stones, just like it does lifting humanity, then everything will unfold and we will be able to answer those questions. It's all in having faith.
Okay, love that. Thank you. And moving to the influence of star nations in cosmic history, which star nation directly contributed to the creation of human DNA?
Wow. they're saying that some star nations contributed to the DNA of animals, such as Lyrans contributed to the DNA of jaguars and big cats and small cats and all that. But they're saying that it is a collection, and I believe it's in the Sirius planets, the Sirius planets, Sirius A, B, and I believe there was a Sirius C planet. But they also, they're all just, they're like, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. We were important too. The Pleiadians, the Andromedans, they're all like, wait, the Arcturians.
Maybe okay, there was no one.
I got it, everybody. Yeah. It's kind of like, who contributed the tomatoes to the tossed salad?
Exactly.
And you know, what are my chickpeas no good? I mean, it's like that. It's like they're all standing up and they're chuckling. Yes.
Okay, that makes sense. Thank you, Akashic Record Masters. And how did interactions with the Anunnaki, Arcturians, Sirians, and Pleiadians shape Earth's history?
Oh, big time. Each and every one of them is a band on the rainbow of the world. And what they're saying too is how beautiful it is that the LGBTQ plus community chose the rainbow, because what it did was it brought in all the star beings from different planets to create what we have here, no one being any better than the other, but also being a band that makes it colorful and important to be here at this time. And so they're honoring, while here on Earth, others are not honoring them as, quote, important or whatever. They're saying they're more important than ever, because what they have done is integrate their souls with their soul's purpose and understood how it all works together in the great fabric of the human body.
Beautiful. Love that. Akashic Record Masters, were there times of direct coexistence between humans and star beings on Earth?
Again, they're kind of smiling. They said, we have that right now. He said, you know, we see that here now. But it's okay, Earthlings. You want more direct evidence. We understand. There are people who have interacted many times. And there are also angelic beings that we would consider to be angels that we have seen or encountered that actually were angelic beings, but interplanetary beings as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you so much, Akashic Record Masters. And how did galactic wars or conflicts impact Earth and the fall of civilizations?
So many galactic wars have occurred over and are still occurring. Some occurring further from where we are in light years. Others, how did it affect the Earth?
And they consider it fall of civilizations and actual on Earth.
Yes, absolutely. As above, so below is what they're saying. So when one of their civilizations was shattered and created the fall of their civilization, there had to be a corresponding effect on other planetary nations, including the Earth. And the resonance, what we call the Schumann resonance, and other things that we are talking about in this particular time period, all were affected and are still affected, just as when flooding or things on the earth happen, they don't just affect one area, they affect many areas, the volcanic activity. So it's saying as above, so below. When it had a problem here, it has a problem here, it has a problem with our lives as well. Sometimes we're confused because we don't know where this all came from, but we're meant to understand that we are just all a grain of sand in the ocean, really. Everything.
Thank you. And that we're all connected.
Absolutely.
And, I do really resonate with that, as above, so below. I love that. Thank you, Akashic Record Masters. That all resonates and makes sense. How does Earth's Akashic Records connect to the Greater Galactic Archives?
They're saying that the Akashic records of the galactics and the Earth complement each other. This is why many times we can also read the Akashic records of a time that we have lived off planet. And there's a maintenance of all of that information as well. Calling in the Akashic Records Masters, some of them have earned their keep by integrating, let's say, the greater universal wisdom. Others spend more time on the lifetimes that we have earned here on the earth. But they say there really is no difference each time that the Akashic records are shared, whether they be global or they be universal or in the universe, that each one had a sacred contract. Each one was important for the lifetime of the entity, and that all of this weaves the tapestry of the Akashic records. In other words, none is better than the other. They are all, again, connected. And I'm also seeing a network, almost like the internet, with all the connections. I can see it throughout the whole entire solar system and beyond. So
I love that. Thank you. And that leads me to this question. What is the origin and purpose of the Akashic records?
I've got 3 of them, and they're sort of standing in front of me going, they're saying this is one of the highest honors in the entire world in their universe, to be given, to be an Akashic Records Master, even more so than archangels and angels and guides. And they're like, we get to know it all. We get to know it all. And so they're saying that the purpose is to always remember and always help us to see the patterns of civilizations, of our own personal journeys, and of the collective wisdom of the cosmos. And they said, you had to really earn your wings in order to be an Akashic Records Master. And the job that they've had, it doesn't have very many openings, they say.
Yeah, I'm sure.
They're very funny. They can be very funny. They're like, yeah, this is my job forever. So don't
get any ideas. Don't have any funny ideas.
Yeah, right. I earned this one. Right.
Thank you. That's very funny and sweet. I love that. Akashic Record Masters, how do the records evolve as humanity's consciousness evolves?
I'm seeing, again, the spinning, but this time it's mahjong tiles. And if you're familiar with the game mahjong, there's different tiles and it's symbolic. It's all symbolic. And they're saying learning how to learn the symbols and what to do with those symbols. They're saying we don't spend enough time as entities on the planet reflecting on things we see, hear, or do that are symbolic and have really important messages for us many times, until I won't say it's too late, but we're like, oh, I remember that. That was 6 years ago. Whatever it was is something they're wanting to call attention to us for. So, something comes into your mind, something happens, there's a purpose behind it. Everything has a purpose, every single thing. And do not believe that it doesn't. Once we say, oh, that was a coincidence, we know that Jung brought in synchronicity as a concept, which is absolutely important for us to always remember. There are no accidents. There are no mistakes. Everything is divinely ordained.
I love that. Love that. So profound. And here's another question about the Akashic Records. Akashic Record Masters, what does it mean to be a co-creator with the records rather than just a reader of the records?
A co-creator adds to it. They work in tandem with the records masters, and by doing so, there's no surreptitious behavior behind it. In other words, it's not like, well, give me one lifetime that this person went through that created this problem, which is great for that entity to hear. This has more power. The co-creation is the co-creation of communities, the co-creation of the solar system, the co-creation of emotions. So as a co-creator, you're reading into the Akashic Records more from the collective point of view, much as we do here on the show, rather than personal view. Both are equally as important because they both are teaching elements, but the co-creator allows themselves to step back and reveal higher truths and bigger wisdom for the collective than a reader of an entity would.
Oh, I love that. Thank you. That's beautiful. And I'm going now to the collective and world questions. Akashic Record Masters, what are the current shifts on Earth that the records want humanity to be aware of?
I am brought into the awareness of the situation that occurred in August to September of 2005 in the city you call New Orleans, Louisiana, and the, so to speak, anniversary date of a horrendous hurricane that destroyed much of the area and the people of the area. And they are saying, we must take these things more seriously. We must allow leaders, we must stand up to leaders who seek to destroy what it is we've created. And the weather patterns are Mother Nature screaming out to us here on the planet, those of us who know that we live in a very fine and delicate balance with the world, with our world and the way that it works. There's a rumbling of volcanic activity. There are earthquakes. There are these rains and these floods. And the Akashic Records Masters is saying, hello, this is symbolic of what we're worried about. And but the issue is we are so divided and meant to be kept divided that those of us who wish to provide a solution to the problem are being sublimated. And those of us who do not care whether the earth exists in another 250 years only can see today. So there's an education that has to be done. But again, with that collective vibration, much like the whirling, once we stand together, there will come a point where it will tip over and things will change, but we are the change. There's no one coming to save us. The Akashic Records Masters say, you guys say that all the time. We agree with you.
Oh,
wake up.
Yeah. Wonderful. Thank you, Akashic Record Masters. Yeah. That's direct. How, Akashic Record Masters, how do the Akashic Records describe the transition from third density to fifth density?
Third density is making the decision to get on an escalator, but you're afraid you get stuck in that little area at the bottom where it grabs your shoes and you're gonna and they're saying once you make the determination to step on the escalator and you feel you got your 2 feet on the stair, it will take you through fourth right to the fifth dimension. That just from that point to the top of the escalator, that's all that you need to get to. So make sure you step firmly and not be afraid. Hold on if you need to. Put somebody behind you if you feel like you're going to fall backwards, because some people are deathly afraid of those. Some people are also deathly afraid of going into fifth dimension. They don't know what it means.
Yeah.
And they are concerned that they won't be who they are anymore. But it's the fear that holds you back. There is nothing to fear. Yeah. There's nothing.
I love that. That's a beautiful explanation and gave me great imagery. Thank you. And it's beautiful. What actual role, Akashic Record Masters, do the records play in guiding humanity through ascension? Because you notice how there's so many people now tapping into the records and actually accessing them. So
yes. There are those who share their wisdom and have created, have made the information available to others who did not know that they wanted the information. One such person is you, Valerie K. entity. You have brought the wisdom of your own knowledge and with the Akashic Records to, let's say, maybe not the masses, but in the community of this group that come to these recordings, exponential. Whether or not they use it immediately does not matter, because that is a part of the stairway to fifth dimension. There will be more and more people. And this is one of the tools in the toolbox that have been made waiting, have been sitting and been made waiting for others to share in order for that to happen. And also have created a way to do it with that wasn't surrounded by any kind of fear or intrigue or criticism. It's all perfect timing. So there are those of us who do the work, learn it and enjoy it, and then additionally share it, which is completely outside of ego. They are not doing it for any other reason than the growth of humanity to the fifth dimension. And we need to be grateful for these people. The Akashic Records Masters say they are very grateful to you, and they are grateful to those who have sort of taken the ball and run and made a touchdown. And this will continue. This will continue.
Thank you. Thank you, Akashic Record Masters, for the acknowledgement. And I appreciate that. And I truly, what you're saying makes absolute sense. And I don't think there's anyone out there reading Akashic Records in their ego. It really does take you into the
understand. Yeah, they understand and they come to their own timing as to how and when to use it. So yes.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you. I love that. And here's a really important question. How can we as a collective clear karmic patterns recorded in humanity's archives?
Mm. Something needs to be done with clear. Some believe that the clearing must come with another one for retribution. So there has to be the whole idea that retribution is not something that is needed in order to take care of an issue, in order to move past the Holocaust, where many, many, many entities volunteered
Mm-hmm.
to become participants, let's say,
Mm-hmm.
in that horrendous event, should have cleared the karmic pattern after that was done. But as we see, not even 100 years later, we have the same situation. We've had many other situations. We've had Kosovo.
Mm-hmm.
We've had Gaza now. We've had, and the ethnic cleansing. There has to come a consensus to clear this, that we are all one. There is so much division. There's so many people cannot stop seeing the other as the enemy. And until we can do that, we cannot clear the karma of those really horrendous times in our history that need clearing and cleansing. Who wants to volunteer for this to happen over and over and over again? One time being the victim, one time being the person who is responsible for the horrendous activity. And the idea of retribution and looking at somebody as somebody different has to be it has to be ingrained more in the human fabric.
I love that. That's beautiful. Some kind of little bit of shadow history questions now. And how and when was humanity's memory intentionally suppressed, if in fact it actually was?
How and when?
The memory of who we actually are.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We actually all know who we are and why we're here and what we're doing, and we just don't think we do. The suppression comes with fear, with disbelief, with not understanding that the power we have is massive and lies within us, and instead we give our power over to the other, the strong, what we perceive to be stronger or more elevated individual. But now we're seeing that we're giving the power away to the weaker, and that's happened in the past, the weaker, crazy individual who is telling us over and over who they are in the general sense. And we're saying, oh, that's okay. You can do this. You can do that. You can do this. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. And there's no, what's the word? There's no, Akashic Records Masters, you know I'm old. Help me out. There's no comeuppance. There's no. We're at this point because we don't think we have any power, and so we hand it over to somebody else who can do anything they want with it and do. And until we recognize that that's just bananas, and you can't do everything you want, and there are consequences, until we can recognize that. So that's a collective awakening that needs to happen, along with many others that have been discussed today. There's a collective awakening in our future. How long that takes depends on how smart we become and how much we trust ourselves.
I love that. That was beautiful, Akashic Record Masters. And Warrior Widow here says that's something I've been worrying about, that holding on to retribution. I am doing this speech because I want justice. Is it going against my path, or is it part of my path? It's conflicting. So I understand that internal conflict.
Yeah. You're being asked to speak, but you're being asked to speak your truth. But you can speak your truth in such a way that it isn't. Yeah, it's not negative. It's uplifting.
I love that. That's a beautiful point, Akashic Record Masters. Thank you. And this next question highlights what you've been saying in a more concrete way. What role did control structures such as religious or political powers play in rewriting history, or even in our own controlling our own thoughts, or not controlling them, but
no, it's a beautiful
narrative
question
that we believe.
It's a beautiful question. It reminds me of the question that why did we grow up Christian? Why did we grow up Buddhist or Islamic or Jewish? It's because our family we were born into was that. And so we don't say at 2 years old, gee, I think I'd like to try this religion. I'd like to be a Shinto, and so we are ingrained in the values of the parents we've had, the past life experiences that we've had. But there is always an element of control from large cults. And what cults are simply organizations. People think, oh, a cult is like a bunch of wackadoodles. And okay, that's fine if that's what you think. But a cult is the Boy Scouts. They all believe in the same thing. The Girl Scouts. It's the Kiwanis Club. So if you give over your power to a cult completely, then you are giving up the identity to make other choices, or the ability to make other choices that align more perfectly with your soul. And so Akashic Records Masters are saying we often set ourselves up. Our parents set us up. They don't even know they're doing it. I've been a parent. This entity, Alice, has been a parent and understands that the decisions that she made probably weren't the best decisions in all cases. I'm sure, as a matter of fact, I know they weren't. However, we only know and accept what it is that we can do at the time. And then if we learn from it, we don't make that mistake again. So there has been a great setup of politics, of religion, of cult groups. And we're seeing it now more and more in the negative sense, because they're being allowed to come out and speak, even though they mask themselves. We know the truth.
That's beautiful. And folks, I can't believe the hour went by so fast. Wow. I love Akashic Record Masters. And Aley, thank you so much for your beautiful channeling of the records and the Akashic Record Masters. It was wonderful. And it flew by. Everyone, thank you for being here. We had Terry holding your space, Kevin, healing medium, and we had now my brain just went out. Oh, Tuta Speaks was here. Valerie, Illumination Portal. Thank you all for being with us, all of you. We love you all and really appreciate this time with
and
you.
Thank you for facilitating it for the Akashic Records Masters, Val.
Oh, sure. My pleasure. Yeah. My pleasure. So it'll be in 2 weeks on my channel, and Aley will be giving me the questions, and we hope to see you there. And Aley, do you have anything you want to share with anyone before we sign off?
I'm going to be back on the Dream Show tonight, and I'm going to be back with the sisters tomorrow.
Goodness, and we missed you so much. Oh my gosh. You can't even know. You just left a big gaping hole there. So,
yeah.
so
yeah,
glad.
we'll have some fun again, and I'm looking forward to it. And how about you, Val? Something coming up for you?
Actually, tomorrow at 1 p.m. Pacific time, I'll have Dr. Gale, Galactic Conversations on my channel. So I hope you tune in for that. And I am going solo tonight at 6 p.m. Pacific time to answer any of your questions.
Awesome. Yeah. Oh, that's a treat. Everybody.
It doesn't happen that often, folks.
No, I know. Please check into Val's 2 channels, Val's Dragonfly Crystals and Val's Next Level Channeling, where she does channeling. Somebody was saying they'd love to see someone channel King James. There's one for you, Val. You can try that one.
We could try that one. That's for sure. So all of you go like and subscribe, Heart and Soul Connected. And also, Aley does readings, and you can book a reading with her. Phenomenal person, channeling all kinds of good stuff. Psychic medium, excellent.
Val too. Val. Between her classes and her readings, you get a real great bang for the buck.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Well, I have to say, before I sign off, the Akashic Records classes didn't happen on their own. Aley said, Val, can you do this?
Yeah.
Just like the psychic mediumship. Val, can you do this?
Yeah. It's wonderful. Yeah.
So everybody knows what a catalyst Aley is in promoting people and starting new things and moving people forward. Just a huge light in our community. Thank you, Aley.
And thank you. And thank you, everybody who's been with us today. We'll see you in a couple of weeks with Val doing the channeling. Thanks, everyone.
Okay. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.